Hello there. At 45, I feel like an invisible person. No one asks how I'm really doing, what dreams I still have, or whether I want to start something new. But then America, the land I thought had turned its back on me, gave me a second chance. And I realized, if you just do these 5 things, you can completely change your life, even at 45 or 50. 1. Honest confession. The feeling of being left behind. I remember when we first came to America, my wife and I had nothing but hope. Every bill we paid felt like a victory. Every smile from a happy nail customer brought us a small moment of joy. But now I feel like a silent shadow in my own life. Friends from our younger days, some are now wildly successful. Others have moved to peaceful states to live near their grandchildren. And me? I'm still stuck in a rundown nail salon, trying to hold on to whatever is left. The same questions echo in my mind, unanswered. If I disappeared, would anyone even notice? Would anyone remember me? I never told anyone. You know how we Vietnamese are. We tend to suffer in silence. But something inside me began to crack. Not because of poverty, but because of the growing feeling that I was no longer needed. I started avoiding conversations, afraid people would ask, "So, how have you been lately? Have you ever felt like life is moving on without you?" I've been there, lonely, lost, and unsure if tomorrow would have any meaning. But it was in that exact moment that I began to change. Next comes part 2, the journey of rising back up and reclaiming self-worth. 2. The first step, accepting the truth, not blaming others. I started asking myself, if I keep complaining, where will it take me? The answer was nowhere. Each day I felt like my life was being drained by blame and self-pity, while others, who also faced hardships, still found a way to stand up and move forward. I remember the first time I sat down, picked up a notebook, and wrote, "Where did I go wrong?" Not to beat myself up, but to take an honest look back. And I saw something clearly. I had stopped learning, stopped growing, and believed that I only had value as long as I could make money from the nail salon. But that was a limit I had put on myself. No one else had forced it on me. I began to change in the smallest ways, waking up 30 minutes earlier, doing some light exercise, and watching videos to learn how to use YouTube and TikTok. I messaged a friend who drives a truck and asked him which school he went to, how he got started. I opened up instead of shutting the world out. Accepting the truth isn't easy, especially when the truth says you are the one holding yourself back. But once I dared to face it, I started to realize I had more potential than I ever thought. 3. The second step, learning new skills, even the smallest ones. At first, I just posted some old items on Facebook Marketplace, a blender, a set of unused pots. Each item sold for maybe a few $dozen, but I felt as happy as a child selling their first toy. It wasn't about the money, it was the feeling that I could still do something. I started learning how people took better product photos, how they wrote more appealing descriptions. With every post, I made small tweaks, tried a different angle, tested a new title. One time, just by changing the opening line from "used items for sale" to "almost new, affordable for those in need," I got nearly 10 messages in one afternoon. Then I noticed some people selling used items through videos, unboxing them, introducing each piece. I followed their lead, filming with my old phone. My hands trembled, my voice was shaky. But strangely, that video got a good number of views. Someone messaged me, "You're so sweet when you talk. Is the juicer still available?" That small comment gave me a boost of confidence. Those small skills, taking photos, writing posts, recording videos, may seem trivial, but they taught me a big lesson. It's never too late to learn again. And if you're willing to start, a new path will slowly open up, one step at a time. 4. The third step, reconnecting with society. I realized something. The more people feel sad or defeated, the more they tend to shrink into themselves, hiding away in a corner. I was like that too, just staying home, scrolling on my phone, watching others succeed while feeling completely out of place. But one day, I decided to try something different. I went to the market during its busiest time, not to buy anything, but simply to talk. I greeted the vegetable lady, asked the fish vendor a few questions. One day, I stood outside the banh mi shop for nearly 10 minutes just to listen to some older women chatting about their grandchildren. Strangely, just a few casual exchanges warmed my heart. Then I met a man who worked in home repairs. He invited me to help out for a few days and paid me a small wage. Thanks to that, I got to know a few more people, and more connections slowly opened up. I learned something valuable. Sometimes success doesn't come from knowledge or skills, but from initiative. If you don't speak up, how will anyone know what you need? If you don't show up, how will anyone know you're here? At 45, 50 years old, communication isn't just a life skill. It's a way of saying, I'm still here and I still matter. 5. The fourth thing, taking care of both physical and mental health. I began to pay more attention to each step I took. At first, I walked just for the sake of walking, following some advice I'd read online. But gradually, I started to feel my heartbeat sinking with my breath, the wind brushing past my ears, and the rustling of leaves high above. I stopped thinking about unanswered emails, unfinished work, or the things that kept me up at night. Each morning felt like a rebirth. Clear skies, soft sunlight, empty roads. I learned to look at a flower by the roadside a few seconds longer, learned to smile at a stranger out exercising. Even on rainy days, I still went out. A little wet, a little cold, but my mind felt strangely cleansed. I began to treat my body like a dear friend I had once forgotten. I drank enough water. I slowed down when I ate. I went to bed a little earlier. I meditated for a few minutes before sleeping. These small habits, seemingly insignificant, brought me a peace I never thought I could reach. I realized taking care of yourself doesn't require anything grand. You just need to be honest with yourself. Would you like help translating the other sections as well? 6. The fifth thing, believing that I still matter. I started writing down my journey on paper. I didn't show it to anyone. Then I began sharing a few parts on Facebook, then on YouTube. Someone messaged me. Your story feels just like mine. Thank you for speaking out. And in that moment, I understood. Being 45 doesn't mean it's the end. Being 45 is when you start living true to yourself. Conclusion, a message of inspiration. If you're 45, 50, 55, and feeling like you're fading into the background of this vast country, remember this. You are not invisible. You're simply waiting for yourself to step forward again. America is not easy, but opportunity is always there if you dare to believe. And these 5 things, if you start today, might just be the beginning of the second chapter of your life. Wood.